Nicole called me and was like, "What's going on? Did you see Justin Bieber's tweet?" And I was like, "About what?" She was like, "You?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And like, I freaked out and I hung up the phone. I was like hysterically crying outside of a candy store with my mom in the car. And I was like, "What's happening?" And we were going crazy. It was.
I went through a very long period in my life. I'm still very young, but I went through a really long period where I felt like I was constantly running from things and I wasn't ready to face certain things that I had gone through, wasn't ready to have those like difficult conversations with my.
I still support you to this day. Do you still have any sort of relationship?
Yeah, of course. I mean, people ask me this all the time. We spent so many years so close, and I think that we'll always have that sort of like bond that will remain no matter what.
Congratulations on your American Music Award, Justin. You're the man.
This whole wild story kicks off with a young girl crying her eyes out outside a candy store, all because her biggest idol tweeted about her. That girl was Madison Beer, and the idol? None other than Justin Bieber himself. But what Madison didn't realize was that this one single tweet wasn't just a fan's dream come true. It was the spark that lit a fire under a career full of fame, pressure, and serious controversy. From that moment on, Madison's life was no longer her own. She was pulled into an industry that controlled her every move, shaping her image, pushing her into the spotlight way too fast, and isolating her from the normal teenage life she once had. People behind the scenes hyper-focused on her appearance and crafted her public image like she was a product on a shelf. And at the center of this whirlwind, Justin Bieber, the same guy who gave her a platform, but also may have blurred the lines between mentor and something far messier, leading to some seriously questionable situations. But instead of calling it out, Madison spent years standing by him, protecting him, carrying his legacy on her back like it was her personal mission. Can you believe that?
Justin Bieber was the first person that tweeted you out when
Yes.
you were, what, 12?
Indeed.
Does he still support you to this day? Do you still have any sort of relationship?
Yeah, of course. And people ask me this all the time. We spent so many years so close, and I think that we'll always have that sort of like bond that will remain no matter what. We don't see each other as frequently as we used to, but yeah, he's always someone that I can pick up the phone and call and have, a conversation with if I'm feeling any type of way, and he's great. He's great.
Oh, he picks up and he listens.
He does. And I'm occasionally the one who picks up. He also like, I think, values our friendship, and he goes through a lot, and I think that, it's nice that he feels like he can have a friend in me and stuff, and he knows like I love him for him. So yeah, he's great. He's so supportive, and he's a great.
But before everything flipped upside down, we need to rewind the clock. Let's take it all the way back to where it all began. In 2012, Madison was just a regular kid uploading singing covers to YouTube. Kind of like how Justin got discovered in 2008 when Scooter Braun found his videos. She was just a girl with braces, posters of Justin plastered all over her bedroom walls, and his songs blasting as her ringtone.
I was 12 years old. I had gotten my braces off a week before. About a week later, I did an At Last cover by Etta James.
Right.
And that was the one that Justin had tweeted out. And he actually tweeted out 3 of my YouTube videos, which was insane.
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps.
It was insane. I mean, as a 12-year-old girl who would have died for Justin Bieber.
yeah, right.
It was through the roof. I used to wear like purple lipstick on his birthday, so it was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was really.
Back then, her biggest, wildest dream was simple: meet Justin Bieber one day. Little did she know, her dream was about to turn into something way bigger and way more complicated.
I was like, "What's going on? Did you see Justin Bieber's tweet?" And I was like, "About what?"
I was 12 years old. He was my lock screen. He was my ringtone. He was my the time he was born. Like I was the biggest fan on the planet.
Justin, girlfriend?
Your nose is big.
My nose is small.
You have a big nose.
Do you still have any sort of relationship?
Yeah, of course. And people ask me this all the time. We spent so many years so close, and I think that we'll always have that sort of like bond that will remain no matter what.
In a wild twist of fate, Madison caught Justin's eye, and not just once, but 3 times. He tweeted out 3 of her singing covers, and boom, just like that, her life flipped overnight. But here's where it gets complicated. Justin didn't just stay a fan cheering from the sidelines. Back then, Justin was 19, rich, famous, and already ruling the global pop scene. Meanwhile, Madison was just 12 years old, still walking the halls of middle school. Right after those tweets, Justin personally signed her to his label, and his manager Scooter Braun swooped in and took control of her career. Suddenly, Madison and Justin were working under the same team, the same powerful machine running everything behind the scenes. Basically, Justin wasn't just a supporter, he was her boss now. And for a long time, Madison was beyond thankful for the opportunity.
Huge Justin fan before he discovered me. He's great. It's awesome that I get to have somebody who I literally looked up to my whole childhood as my mentor. It's really cool.
At first, it felt like a dream come true, but looking back, the picture's not so perfect. Because right after Madison got signed, her career weirdly slowed down. Her team didn't want to debut her too soon because at 14, they felt she didn't fit their image yet. And by team, let's be real, we're talking about the grown men who were calling all the shots in her life. This was a child already being judged, shaped, and controlled by powerful adults behind closed doors. Madison even spoke on this herself. In one interview, she revealed, "There was a conversation around me when I was 14. I remember people being like, 'She's too sexy. We can't sell the sex because she's so young. We have to wait.'" Imagine that. Grown men discussing whether a child was too sexy to market. She was only 14. And even though Madison has always spoken kindly about Justin, you can tell how deep their bond really was, despite the huge age gap. In one interview, she shared that they'll always have a special connection and that she still uses the tools and skills he taught her. Madison even said Justin was incredible every step of the way.
His main piece of advice is just to never give up because there's going to be a lot of negativity. No matter what, focus on your music and what's important and never take your eye off the target.
But hearing all this now, it's hard not to wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. But now, fans can't help but wonder, was this really mentorship or was it straight up power play? When a global superstar handpicks a 12-year-old girl off YouTube and suddenly becomes her label, her manager, and her brand, that's not just support, that's full-on control over her image, her self-worth, and her entire future. And for years, they stayed close, some would say way too close. But here's where it gets confusing. Madison once said that Justin didn't really have much time for her, claiming he was always caught up working on his own music. But then why, people ask, was he the one reviewing her songs before they dropped? Why was he making the final call on her projects? If he wasn't hands-on in the studio, how did he have the final say in what the world heard from her? That alone slowed her career down, since she could only release the tracks Justin gave the green light to. Fans are saying this wasn't mentorship. This was full-on control. And it gets even messier. Even though Madison has always played down how close they were, the paparazzi photos tell a different story. Random hikes, late-night food runs, public hangouts that didn't really scream mentor and mentee. They felt more like a situationship than a professional partnership.
Congratulations on your American Music Award, Justin. You the man. Got a girlfriend? Justin's kind of hard to keep up with, isn't he? He's in pretty good shape, huh?
Yeah, he's very hard to keep up with.
Anything new with you?
You're so mean. My nose is not big.
It is big.
Your nose is big.
My nose is small.
You have a big nose.
Now it's big. Look at your nose.
It's not.
It's gigantic.
Is this a big nose? You have a big
You
nose.
can smell me from over there.
I can't smell anything.
And who could forget that one viral moment? Paparazzi caught them holding hands, looking a little too cozy on a hiking trail. And when the cameras showed up, Justin straight up dipped, leaving Madison alone and embarrassed on the spot. Brutal. And let's be real, that wasn't the first time Justin pulled a move like that. People still talk about how he used to leave Hailey hanging when they were first getting spotted together in public too. But wait, it gets crazier. There's a blind item from 2017 that claimed Madison wasn't even hanging out with Justin for collaborations or mentorship. It was allegedly because she was being paid just to keep him company, like a babysitter. Can you believe that? Now, before anyone brushes this off as just wild gossip or tabloid drama, let's stick to the facts for a second. Madison got signed around 2012 and stayed on Justin's label until 2015. And during all those years, she only dropped 2 singles, Melodies and Unbreakable, plus a small collab with the Monster High franchise. She even posted a remix of Cody Simpson's Valentine on her YouTube. And sure, it played on Radio Disney, but it was never officially released on streaming platforms. So let's do the math. Less than 5 actual projects in 3 whole years? That doesn't sound like an artist they were building up. It sounds more like someone who was being kept around to be seen, not heard, and honestly, that's just messed up. But here's where it gets even crazier. Rumors say she was allegedly making around $10,000 a week just to stay by Justin's side, keeping him calm and protecting the brand. That's right. $10,000 a week just to stick close and help manage the chaos. And guess what? Justin's own team was supposedly signing off on those checks. At this point, she wasn't even acting like a girlfriend. People say it was more like she was his handler, babysitting a pop star going off the rails. And let's not forget the bigger picture. This was the time when Justin's life was spiraling out of control. He was hitting the headlines constantly for reckless behavior, and his breakup drama with Selena Gomez was everywhere. All of that unfolded right before he got with Hailey. Justin was having meltdown after meltdown, living in total chaos. And if you look at how things played out with Hailey later on, a lot of people now believe Justin never really learned how to face his struggles head on. Instead of getting help, he clings to the people closest to him. People keep saying that the only reason his marriage lasted this long is because Hailey was holding it down, being his rock. But now, the rumor mill claims she's finally done bending over backwards for him. And it's no secret, everyone can see the mess he's become lately. And instead of facing his issues, he's still dodging therapy and living in denial. Not too long ago, he even went off on Instagram ranting and trying to silence the people begging him to get some help. Wild, right? And let's not forget how Justin's drama dragged Madison right into the fire. Remember when fans blamed her for ruining Justin and Selena? Back in 2018, when the hate was pouring in, Justin stayed totally silent, leaving Madison to fend for herself. She had to jump online and clear her name, saying Justin was like a big brother to her and that even in a million years, she would never date him. But here's where it gets shady. If that 2017 blind item holds even a little truth, it makes total sense why his team would have paid Madison to stick close, to keep him calm, keep the chaos contained, and make him look stable to the public. And back then, Madison was out there telling everyone that Justin was in a good place. But now, fans are convinced it was all a PR move and that Madison was carefully coached to make Justin seem steady, even when behind the scenes, it was anything but.
Sing her happy birthday, because it's a really special day, so what do you think? All right? Happy birthday to you.
You've been living in LA since you were 16, right? Without any family?
Well, okay, so I moved here when I was 14, and my mom and my brother moved out here as well.
And guys, let's not forget, Madison was only 17 when all this was happening. Justin also had this habit of doing grand public gestures that made people think they were way more than friends. Like the time he pulled her on stage for a sweet birthday shout out and got the whole crowd singing happy birthday. But behind all that noise, the power imbalance was screaming louder than the applause. And despite all these flashing red flags, the moment that truly shook people came from a Reddit post claiming Madison and Justin's closeness crossed the line way back in 2014. The post claimed things got physical. At that time, Justin was 20 and Madison was just 15. Neither of them ever addressed the rumors, but their body language in public and behind-the-scenes pics spoke volumes. Take those photos from the studio, for example. Justin's hands on her shoulders snapped right before she turned 15. And let's be real, this wasn't the first time something like this happened. Around that same time, Justin flew Sophia Richie, another teenager, out to a different country where the legal age of consent was lower. That doesn't feel like a random coincidence. It's looking more and more like a pattern. And honestly, we all know where he might have learned these kinds of moves. And just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, oh, it does. There was this one post where Justin shared a pic of Madison and captioned it, "My friend Madison Beer has a bigger nose than me. Who agrees?" Like, what even is that? And from the way the photo was angled, a lot of people said it looked like she was lying down in bed. What started off as a joke quickly turned ugly. Justin kept dragging her nose so much that it stopped being playful and straight up became humiliating. And let's be real, there's a pattern here, one Hailey knows all too well. Justin has never missed a chance to throw little jabs at the women closest to him. One person on social media put it perfectly. Him constantly calling Madison's nose huge might explain how stunning girls like her end up feeling pressured to go under the knife. And let's not forget, Madison herself has spoken openly about how being too pretty made her a target ever since she was 14, before she even had a real music debut. Yet here was Justin, making fun of her to millions of followers. That's not cool, not even a little bit. It honestly felt like Madison was trapped in a role she never asked for, staying loyal, hoping that one day Justin would finally support her music career. But instead, it stayed just that, a wish. And don't forget how young she was when she moved to LA. Just 16 years old, living alone, trying to survive in an industry that chews girls up and spits them out. No security, no parents, no curfew, just a teenage girl navigating a world of shady producers, relentless press, and constant frustration. And this is the part no one likes to talk about. People are finally calling it what it was, a setup. Because Hollywood loves to call it independence when a teenager is left alone to struggle. But the reality is, they end up paying a price that nobody prepared them for. Take Madison's story. If Justin really cared about protecting her, why was she the one stuck protecting him? And here's where things get even crazier. Word on the street is that Hailey knew everything about Madison from the jump. Because when Hailey officially got with Justin in 2015, Madison was still right there in the picture. You can't make this stuff up, but here's where the tension really hit a breaking point. When Hailey stepped into the picture officially in 2015, the dynamics shifted overnight. Suddenly, Madison, who had spent years as part of Justin's inner circle, started getting pushed to the sidelines. And people couldn't help but notice how fast she faded from the spotlight once Hailey came around. Almost like there wasn't enough room for both of them in Justin's world. And yet Madison stayed quiet. No public shade, no call-outs. Just silence. She kept it classy even when the media kept comparing them. Fans noticed the shift though. People started wondering, did Hailey see Madison as competition? Or was she uncomfortable with how close Madison and Justin had been before she showed up? Because let's face it, Hailey didn't exactly walk into a clean slate. What's wild is that instead of supporting both women, the industry and fans pitted them against each other like it was some teenage drama. Madison was left to fend for herself, and the machine that once promised to protect her was suddenly nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Justin and Hailey were building their public image, posing for paparazzi, sharing lovey-dovey Instagram posts, trying to look picture perfect. But if you looked close enough, cracks were already showing. Justin was still struggling behind the scenes, still chasing peace he couldn't seem to find, and still pulling the people around him into his chaos. And while all this was going down, Madison was out there trying to finally build her own music career on her own terms this time. No more waiting for Justin's approval. No more being a side character in someone else's story. But the whispers about what really happened between the three of them, those never stopped. Some fans still believe Madison was pushed out for knowing too much. Or maybe because she reminded Justin of a past he didn't want to face anymore. Either way, it's clear. Madison was never supposed to be the headline. But somehow, her story became the one nobody could stop talking about. But even as Madison stepped back from Justin's world, the shadows of their history followed her everywhere. Every interview, every post, every new relationship she had, people kept dragging her back to Justin's name like she couldn't exist without it. And for a while, it felt like she was trapped under his legacy. no matter how far she tried to run from it. And let's be real, Hollywood wasn't making it easy for her to break free. Labels kept comparing her to other young pop stars, pushing her to either be the next Selena Gomez or the next Ariana Grande. But Madison, she wasn't trying to be anybody else. She was just trying to finally be herself. Meanwhile, Justin was battling his own storms, public breakdowns, disappearing acts, and constant headlines about his struggles with mental health. But here's the thing. Instead of facing those issues head-on, it seemed like he kept leaning on the people closest to him to carry his weight. First it was Madison, then it was Hailey. Same cycle, different girl. And even now, people are asking, did Justin ever really change? Or did he just switch who he was depending on for support? Because let's not forget, behind every cute couple moment on social media, there was a history of chaos that never fully got cleaned up. As for Madison, after years of fighting to prove herself, she finally started speaking up. She opened up about the industry's harsh treatment, about the pressure to be something she wasn't, and about how isolating fame can be when nobody's looking out for you. Fans saw a whole new side of her, one that was raw, real, and ready to tell her own story. But the scars, they're still there. And the rumors about what really went down behind the scenes, those whispers never fully died out. Because when you grow up in someone else's spotlight, the shadows follow you for life. Still hanging in the background, Madison never really left the picture completely. Hailey's never publicly spoken about Madison, but the two of them still follow each other on Instagram. Kinda awkward, right? And to make things even messier, Justin still pops up in Madison's comments now and then, especially on her birthdays, dropping compliments that fans can't help but side-eye. People are constantly wondering, how does Hailey feel about all this? Because let's be real, one thing about Justin, he'll gas up other beautiful women online without a second thought. But when it comes to his own wife, the vibe shifts unless he's teasing or joking at her expense. Not exactly relationship goals. Anyway, earlier this year, Madison finally addressed where things stand between her, Justin, and Hailey. And here's what she said. I love Justin and Hailey Bieber very much. I was with them recently and we were like, how special that we've known each other for so long. I've known Hailey since I was 10 and I've known Justin since I was 12. We are still in each other's lives and now they're married with a baby. So yeah, it sounds like Madison's going to defend Justin no matter what. Loyalty runs deep. But outside of her, plenty of people are calling it exactly how they see it. One person wrote, I've been saying this. The reason Justin doesn't speak out is because he has done bad things himself. Another fan added, Justin seems to have a relationship with everyone except his own wife. Ouch. Someone else went even deeper, saying, I think he's freaking out because he's hiding things. And then a comment that really hits. Usually, the abused becomes the abuser. And since no Justin Bieber story is ever complete without a Selena Gomez mention, one person brought her name back into the mix, saying, well, you can probably guess where that conversation went next. So maybe the real story here isn't just about what Justin did, but about who stayed silent to protect him. Madison was caught in the middle of a messy, powerful machine. One that wanted to shape her image, control her voice, and use her loyalty to cover up someone else's chaos. But somehow, against all odds, she broke free. Looking back, you could say Madison was lucky to escape this scary mess before it completely consumed her life. But the scars, those stay with you. And honestly, it makes you wonder, how many more stories like this are hiding behind the perfect Instagram posts and celebrity smiles? But hey, this rabbit hole runs deep and we're not done exposing the wild truth behind your favorite stars. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want to keep hearing the stories that Hollywood doesn't want you to know. And hit that bell so you never miss when we drop the next bombshell. Oh, and don't forget to check out the next video popping up on your screen right now. Trust me, it's packed with even more jaw-dropping celebrity drama you won't believe. Catch you in the next one.